How far can Thomas Tuchel take Arsenal if they decide to take him instead of Arsène Wenger in January 2018? Hello everyone, this is the What If League, and today we are doing episode 2, what would happen if Arsenal sacked Arsène Wenger and instead hired Thomas Tuchel to replace him. This is the second part of this experiment. If you haven't seen part 1, please make sure to do so in my channel. There will be also a link provided in the description below. You will be able to see what happened in the first 3.5 years of this experiment. Now in this episode we're going to cover the time period between 2nd of June 2021 and 2nd of June 2024. Thomas Tuchel has already been quite successful in his stint so far at the Emirates. If you see part 1 you will see why. He won some trophies, and now we're going to see if he continued that trend in the next 3 seasons. First off, we start with the Premier League, and just wanted to show you that the last season of part 1 Arsenal were champions in England with same points as Manchester City but a better goal difference. Let's see what happened in the next year. Next season Manchester City were champions quite easily. They have a 12-point cushion above second place Tottenham. Arsenal, unfortunately for them, slipped into 5th place, which means that the Gunners did not qualify for Champions League. In the next season, Manchester City were champions again, and Arsenal actually slumped down even more to 6th position now. They are with 69 points, which means that they are 27 points behind the champions. And in the last season of this experiment, they have climbed up to the Champions League qualifying places and 4th position. Manchester City have won their 3rd successful title in England. Switching to the domestic cup competitions, and first off is the FA Cup. We see that Arsenal have not won that in this simulation. The last time that they won the FA Cup is when they won it in reality in season 2016-17. So apparently with Thomas Tuchel at their helm, they were not able to win the oldest trophy in football. Moving to the League Cup, and this competition was not won by Arsenal ever since the first season of the simulation with Thomas Tuchel in charge of the Gunners. You see here Arsenal won it in season 2017-18, but ever since then all different teams have won that, with the exception of Manchester City, who managed to repeat this feat in the seasons 2018-19 and in the very last year here 23-24. Now let's have a quick look at the Arsenal team themselves and how have they formed as a squad. What tactics is Thomas Tuchel applying here at the Emirates? First off, we see in the overview screen that their key player is Jake Rodber. So let's have a quick look at Jake. He's a regen player, a 20-year-old English right winger who is also capable to play as a striker. Quite impressive stats, as you can see. Let's see where they got him from. They got him from Bournemouth for £33 million, which seems to me like a steal for the attributes that he has. He started his career in Cheltenham. So good on him, and good on Bournemouth for taking a hefty sum for his services. Now let's also see the tactics screen and what is happening there. We can see that Thomas Tuchel is employing 4-2-3-1 tactics, which is not that surprising in the Football Manager simulations. This is one of the most preferred tactics for almost all AI managers. Now let's have a quick look at the transfer screen and see if there is something interesting there as well. Last season we left off season 2020-21. Loris Karius was purchased from Leicester, as well as Joao Felix from Benfica and Frank Kessie from Milan. Let's see what happened afterwards. Nikola Milenkovic was brought from Fiorentina. He's a Serbian central back. You can see that he has developed quite nicely, but he has since been sold to Lazio. Rafinha was brought from Inter for 66 million, then they sold Gelson Martins to Real Madrid. This is very significant transfer, and apparently they have lost one of their most influential players. Next year they brought Matthew Targett from Southampton, Serge Aurier from Bordeaux, Juan Carlos Zuniga from Deportivo Cali. Let's have a quick look at Zuniga and how is he doing. He is a 21-year-old regen from Colombia, and as you can see he is very impressive in his stats. Although he has some gaps, and I imagine that he is still developing at this young age. They also sold Frank Kessie to Paris Saint-Germain for £74 million, so very good business from Arsenal. They have a very good healthy profit in that transfer window. Then next year they brought Lewis Cook and Jake Rodberg, who is now their key player, both from Bournemouth. So let's have a quick look at Lewis Cook. As you can see, the central midfielder Lewis Cook is very, very impressive in the game. He has very nice attributes, and I imagine, is performing very well in Arsenal. On the other side, they have sold Nikola Milenkovic to Lazio. We already saw that, and that was the biggest outgoing transfer for that period. Now let's have a look at the European competitions and check if Arsenal managed to add to their trophy cabinet in these last 3 years. First off, we start with the Europa League, and this is the season where part 1 ended. So this is season 2020-21. Manchester City were champions of the Europa League. Then in the next year, Atletico Madrid defeat Chelsea in the final, meaning that they brought this trophy to Madrid. Arsenal managed to qualify until the quarterfinals, where they were eliminated by Chelsea. They managed to beat Olympiacos in the second knockout round 5-1 on aggregate. Moving on to the season after that, there was an all-English final where Arsenal, unfortunately for them, lost to Manchester United, and Thomas Tuchel was not successful to repeat the victory in the Europa League. The Gunners qualified for that final game after defeating Ajax in the semi-final, the German Wolfsburg in the quarterfinal, and another German team, Hoffenheim, in the second knockout round. But unfortunately for Thomas Tuchel and his boys, they lost to Manchester United in the final game. And in the last season of this part 2 of this experiment, Tottenham, the North London opponents of Arsenal, were successful in their bid in the final after defeating Benfica on penalties, with the regular time ending 2-2. So this is where we are going to leave things in the Europa League. Just to also add that Arsenal were eliminated by Portuguese Benfica in the second knockout round of this edition of the tournament. Now we're going to focus in on the biggest stage in European football, the Champions League. Again, going back to the season where part 1 ended, Paris Saint-Germain were victorious against Liverpool in the final, defeating them 3-1. Then in the next year, Manchester United won the Champions League on penalties after beating Sevilla after 1-1 in the regular time. Season 22-23 brought the Champions League title to Real Madrid in an all-Madrid final against Atletico, 1-0, and this year saw no significant challenge by the English teams. Then in the last year, Bayern Munich won in the final against Manchester City 2-1, and this is the last year of this experiment where we're going to end things. The only other thing that I want to see in the meantime is the Ballon d'Or awards before we close this experiment. Of course, I may make part 3 of that. Thomas Tuchel is still leading Arsenal, and it would be interesting to see how things develop. As you can see on the screen, Neymar and Isco have won the Ballon d'Or awards in the last 3 years. So Neymar have won it twice. We see that in the first year, Messi and Ronaldo were second and third, then Griezmann and Dybala. And now in the last year, 2023, Isco has won the award at 31 years of age. Antoine Griezmann and Paulo Dybala are second and third once again. Having said all of that, I think that's enough for this video, guys. If you haven't seen part 1 of this experiment, please check out my channel or the description below. There will be a link to that. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for my channel if you haven't already. That way you're going to receive notifications for when I upload new videos. In the meantime, you can also check out my social media. Links will be listed in the description below. Let me know what you think about this experiment. What would you like to see next? I would love to hear more from you in the comments. Once again, thank you for watching. Until the next time, bye.